I'm Ricky Bevington, host of All Things Considered on Georgia Public Broadcasting. This is GPB's web series, What You Need to Know Coronavirus. Joining me now is Clyde Higgs, the CEO of the Atlanta Beltline. He is here to talk to us about what you need to know before you step outside to get some fresh air right now in this era of social distancing. Clyde Higgs, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So before families step out the door, what are some top key things to remember?
Yeah. So first of all, for the Beltline, like we fully embrace the tenets of social distancing. I will tell you right now, I literally am right here at home because I'm really taking the lead from the governor and the mayor to practice as uh, uh, sheltering in place. And so I'm here. I'm not on the belt line, but just the basic tenets of separating at least 6 feet, making sure that you're doing the good old fashioned washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. We are discouraging, I will tell you though, people from getting on the belt line just for general use. But I will say also that we are still allowing people to get on the belt line for what we describe as essential uses. And so that may be getting to your physician, that may be getting to a pharmacy for your medical supplies, that may be getting to a grocery store, that may be getting back and forth to your job. And also, if you need to get out just for your mental well being, there are places where you can get out on the belt line that are a little less crowded than traditional East Side Trail of the belt line.
Now, no matter where people are in Georgia, the weekend is upon us. They're going to want to get outside. So, say I'm outside for whatever reason and it's pretty crowded. The Beltline can be a tight space, but maybe I'm in a state park where there's just a lot of people. What do I do?
Absolutely. Honestly, what we would love for you to do is just stay home. That is the marching orders. We'd love for you to stay home, but if you can't, go to areas that are not crowded. We don't need to go to the same place. And again, from a Beltline standpoint, it is 7 miles of built trail today. And if you go to certain segments of the Beltline, it is not that crowded on the west side trail of the Beltline or the south side trail of the Beltline. And but we are really asking people, if you don't have to get out, just stay at home. I am literally, I'm an outdoors person, but I am inside right now, and if I have to get out, it's going to be for one of those essential uses.
Parents need to get their kids out of the house. That's what we're hearing right now. They want to go to playgrounds. How can kids be safe at playgrounds? What do parents need to know?
Yeah, well, playgrounds specifically within the city are not officially open. But there are some opportunities out there. Again, we have lots of good public spaces that aren't necessarily frequented in a dense way. And so, get on our website. I will say, the Atlanta Beltline website is robust with information, with green space and places for people to enjoy that are a little less dense than the traditional East Side Trail that we describe for the Beltline.
Why are some communities shutting down public green spaces and others, like the city of Atlanta, choosing to keep them open?
Yeah, and that's a fair question. I will tell you specifically within the city of Atlanta, the Beltline first is a transportation corridor. And so that's how the project started. And if you look at some of the sister projects like the Beltline across the country, I would say the majority of them are still quote unquote open for essential use. And so, from a best practices perspective, most of the linear greenways and trails across the country, and at least inside of our network of projects are still open. And so we really pay attention to some of the recommendations and suggestions that came out from Sanjay Gupta and Dr. Del Rio of Emory University, suggesting that the Beltline and parks should still stay open because this is also for people's well-being, mental well-being. And so getting out there on the trail in places that are not very dense, I think is good for people.
And I think we should point out that group sports are not allowed, picnics are not allowed, any kind of group gathering really is a no-no right now.
That is correct. And so we have been very intentional in putting direct signage, specifically on the belt line, and just reminding people not to congregate. And that's what we are discouraging.
Okay, there are members of our families that do need to go out no matter what, and that is our dogs.
Yes.
What advice do you have for dog walkers?
Yes. Definitely get our furry members of our families out, and so that they can do their business. And but again, I would stress finding places that are less dense for general walkers. And again, there's lots of places like that in the general Atlanta area. There's lots of places like that in our beautiful state to get out, and you just don't need to do it in very dense places.
Clyde Higgs is CEO of the Atlanta Beltline. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, and be safe.